Okay. Back after cleaning up the mess that I made earlier this morning of breaking literal glass in the middle of Sholmes' deduction. Anyway. Mr. Sholmes? Well, Mr. Naruhodo, an impressively upbeat deduction for a detective racked with loneliness. Would you not agree? Was it true about what you said with the bank over the road and what it has in its vault? Indeed. Though few know of its existence, it is one of the government's most closely guarded secrets. Gregson told me in the strictest confidence. But you just announced it to everyone here. Rather loudly, in fact. Ah. And if it's such a big secret, how would Mr. Benedict have come to find out about it? There can be but one explanation for that. Clearly, it's because the man is a criminal. But what if he didn't know about anything? He didn't know anything about the money in the bank? Then buying a brand new shovel is sure to be the first thing he does now that you've revealed the secret. Oh. Or, if he doesn't, maybe Mr. Windibank will. He already has plenty of shovels here, after all. Oh, my life, I assure you, I'm not so unscrupulous. Well, hopefully this taught you a valuable lesson. Sensitive information must be handled with utmost of care. Sholmes. One can never be sure that someone privy to secrets won't disclose them, and once the word is out, it's out. Perhaps I'll think twice before confiding in you next time, Mr. Sholmes. An excellent idea, Mr. Naruhodo. An excellent idea. This fucking mess of a man. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, you know what to do, I'm sure. Yes, let's listen to that great deduction again and see if we can massage it into shape. Very well then, let us start once more from the beginning. Of Sherlock Holmes' magnificent logic and reasoning spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Topic 1. The mystery man's aim. Alright, let's skip around a little bit. As revealed by that which you hold in your hand. Yes, what brought you to the shop in the first place is the staff recruitment flyer. No, it's not it. So, by Mr. Sholmes' reasoning, Mr. Benedict came here in order to apply for a job so he could dig down through the floor. Yes, in an attempt to tunnel down into the sewers and gain access to the money in the vault of the bank across the road. But he wouldn't get very far with a broken shovel, would he? Oh wait, that was... sorry. No, I think it's fair to say that his motive lies elsewhere. The question is where? What did bring Mr. Benedict here to this establishment? Sorry, that was just how the sun's lines. I'm still kind of sleepy. Oh! Is that a drawing of Gina? Oh my god, it is. Oh. Look at all the scribbled notes in the back of the flyer here. Oh, I don't believe it. What is it? Listen to what it says. Name, Gina Lestrade. Height, 5'2", green cap, scruffy waistcoat, grubby white shirt, blue satchel, ragged. It's a detailed description of Miss Lestrade. Goodness. There's even a sketch of her, hat and all. Yeah, it's really cute. Did he draw that? Although, if he showed it to her, she'd fire that smoke grenade launcher in his face for sure. And look, the details of the shop had been written down here too. Windibank's Pawnbrokery, Baker Street, redemption deadline, 15th April, which is today's date. Why would Mr. Benedict have all that information scrolled on the back of that piece of paper? Information about Miss Lestrade. That's a little creepy, actually. You've been stalking her? Take that! Yes, what brought you to the shop in the first place is the info about Miss Lestrade. Quite so, my dear fellow. It would appear that the writing and sketch on the reverse of that flyer pertain to the pickpocket, Miss Lestrade, and to Mr. Windibank's pawnbrokery here. Oh. You originally told us that you had merely given chase to Miss Lestrade after she stole the redemption ticket from you. But that, sir, is a thinly veiled lie. It is the information on the back of the flyer that led you here today, by which I mean here, to Windibank's pawnbrokery, and today, the redemption deadline of the overcoat. So, you waited outside for the young girl matching the description you have written down to arrive. And you have gone to some lengths to hide the reason for your pursuit of Miss Lestrade. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. Oh, we're back to it. The cane, which you unwittingly clutched to your person, exhibits an incontrovertible contradiction. What utter rot! I've had this cane for years. Yes. Moving on. The contradiction of which I speak is the missing ferrule, which isn't the case. What's a ferrule? I actually want to know too. It's a metal cap commonly found at the end of the cane, Mr. Norhoda. Thank you so much, sir. Ah, the bit that makes a nice clacking sound on the pavement. Yes, exactly. And Mr. Sholmes is right. It appears to be missing on this cane. But it doesn't actually look broken, does it? No, it doesn't. Though the gentleman certainly did recoil when Mr. Sholmes identified the cane as suspicious. In other words, there's some secret about the cane that Mr. Benedict would rather we don't know. It's probably the initials carved on it. Even, I think I remember, I was like, I thought you were Edgar Benedict. What's the AG? Look here, Miss Sato. There are some letters on the handle. Ah, yes. Those must be initials, I think. In the West, it's customary for people to engrave their belongings with the first letter of their names. So Herlock Sholmes would be HS, you mean? That's right. And the initials on this cane, obviously. Oh. AG. Why does it feel as though that's not quite right? Agert. That's it. You can't fit the Benedict in. Take that! The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, initialing. A most astute observation, wouldn't you say, Mr. Eggert Benedict? A stupid name. We are led to believe, sir, that your initials are E.B. Yet, in a most possessive manner, you have in your grasp a cane bearing the initials A.G. An incontrovertible contradiction indeed, would you not agree? I'm having a hard time pronouncing words. No, you're wrong. This cane isn't... You said before that you had that cane for years. So don't try to tell us that you just borrowed it from a friend or found it in a park. Those are really lame excuses, too. In short, though you hold yourself to be a gentleman, you have withheld your true name. How very ungentlemanly of you. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? I like how the conversation, even after it continues, it's very consistent. It's very cohesive. I don't know the word we're looking for here. What is the truth behind this rod you bear? And it's gonna say that the handle is like stout. Your action betrays the truth. The handle, which you would evidently like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle. I don't think that's the case. Let's consider the bare bones of what's happened here. Miss Lestrade redeemed that fine-looking overcoat, and now a mysterious man has appeared, introducing himself with a fake name, and claiming that the overcoat belongs to him. But we know that he actually identified Miss Lestrade from a written description, which suggests that everything else he's told us is untrue. So, what we need to do here is somehow prove that the overcoat cannot possibly belong to him. Like a tag? Oh! A split seam. Yeah, because it's too small on him. Right.
Oh, the seam on the shoulder is coming apart. Look.
So it is.
Do you know, a moment ago when Mr. Benedict was surprised by something that was said, I thought I heard him make a rather strange noise. It sounded a bit like a tiny growl. But now I think of it, it was probably the sound of the seam ripping open.
If you look closely, it does seem to be a very tight fit. The sleeves are stretched to bursting, and he wouldn't have a hope of fastening it at the front. If he were to run around in it, I'm sure the whole thing would fall apart.
That I'd like to see.
Sorry?
So how can we make Mr. Benedict run around?
She's really giving this some thought. Susato-san, excuse me? I beg your pardon. Susato-san, you'd like to see him run up... Susato-san! Girly! The split seam, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. Yes, because the overcoat is rather, obviously, a poor fit. Having forced it over your broad shoulders, the seam is already breaking apart. My suspicions were aroused from the outset. When you so boldly lie about your name and so boldly waylaid this pickpocket. This catalogue of untruths has all been for one very specific purpose. To steal the article that the young girl redeemed from Mr. Windybank. Ah! Wonderful twirl. He must be a ballerina. But what really irks me is this. The considerable crime I initially imagined has been considerably curtailed. Don't worry, it'll make for a fine story, wouldn't it? Conclusion. To abscond with a redeemed item. Solved. Topic 2. Great crime. Now, Sholmes, your theory no longer holds water. Let's not. Let's continue. Okay. The details of your elaborate crime, yeah. It has nothing to do with digging to the bank. Oh wait, this is like new dialogue. You suggest that I, a gentleman, designed a wheeze to filch some tawdry article of pawnage. And that is a very wordy way of saying, me, steal from the pleb, no way. Have you forgotten that I redeemed the article in proper manner, using the watchword? Had I not been the one to deposit it in the first place? How could I possibly have known the relevant details? Let's say pass. I don't know how to... Can you stop throwing French words at me? Literally me whenever I read the novels too. Can you stop throwing Latin, French, German, and everything else on me? I can't... Oh, but the watchword can be discovered. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. And your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped. What? Let us consider how one might come to learn a secret watchword relating to the pawned property of another. The method is revealed by the council notice on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn.
The direction of deduction must change rather dramatically now, I think.
Yes, no more talk of tunneling into the sewers, which is a pity because it all sounded rather exciting. It really was. Anyway, you can't deny that this mysterious gentleman did know the watchword.
Yes, Professor. If you didn't know that word, Mr. Windybank would never allow you to redeem the article.
Or, looking it at another way, if you did know that word, Mr. Windybank would allow you to redeem the article, whether it was yours or not. So the question is, how could this gentleman have found the watchword somehow? It's in the log. Just move a little. I think it's the notelet. Oh, that's a cute word for it. I just call it a notepad. Look at this, Miss Soto.
It appears to be a memo that Mr. Windybank has scribbled to himself.
Let's see. What does it say? Oh, Professor. Mr. Windybank must make note of the watchword his customers give him right before their eyes. And in alarmingly clear script as well.
Oh dear, I don't know where to look. Who knows what other secrets I might see?
Cover your eyes! Yeah, that is... It's good to have a log, but don't show it to the customer, and also don't display it on the counter with your gun. The method is revealed by the note list on the counter, to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. Yes, the broker here follows the same procedure wherever a customer comes to redeem an article. He asks the customer for the watchword and notes down the response uttered on a notelet he has to hand. Then he consults his ledger and confirms whether or not the watchword matches that of the article in question. I would expect nothing less of a diligent pawnbroker. But his diligence clearly has its disadvantages. What are you talking about? It is increasingly apparent that you were present in the shop before your accusation against Miss Lestrade. The accents, they're all mixing. Oh, that's a cool-ass fucking flashback. In all likelihood, you followed her inside, and then observed her talking to Mr. Winterbank. When the diligent broker made a note of the watchword, as is his common practice, you observed him writing the word Professor on the notelet besides the ledger. And that, sir, was the master plan you devised to steal the pawned article from young Miss Lestrade. Master plan? Wonderful spins. Which brings us to the last and final chapter of this lurid scheme. Why would you go to such lengths to redeem that particular article from this pawnbroker? Are you quite serious? For an ill-fitting overcoat hardly seems to justify the effort, much less a worthless music box disc. And that is true. Oh, we're examining it right now? Yeah, turn it over. Look at the blade, if you want to. I don't know, just flip it over. There we go. For McGilded. Just look at the thumbnail of this video. It's right there.
Oh, there's a little scrap of paper stuck into the reverse side of the disc. Look, and a scribbled word or two. It looks like somebody's name. For McGilded.
McGilded? It couldn't be.
But it is, Mr. Naruhodo. A name I shall never forget for as long as I live.
But why? Why is his name on this? The plot thickens. But naturally, you had a very good reason to make them yours, didn't you, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us all we need to know. Don't worry, Sholmes, we got this covered. The articles we're talking about are the overcoat and the music box disc that was one of the pockets.
Which, according to Mr. Winterbank, isn't even worth a shilling.
And yet this man went to such lengths to steal them. Why?
I wonder if perhaps we already have the evidence to explain it, Mr. Naruhodo.
Could we? Really? I'd better have a thorough look through the evidence we've collected so far. We just did, don't worry about it. That's really nice of the game to say that, though. Take that! You see, this music box disc tells us all we need to know. What's that on the back? It reads, For McGilded. I'm here again. Ah, Mr. Magnus McGilded, the unfortunate philanthropist who perished in curious circumstances at the Old Bailey 2 months ago. A prominent man in London, though his lone mongering demonstrated a distinct lack of scruples. So, you're an associate of his, are you? Or perhaps a subordinate? Mr. McGilded was a man of unusually small stature. In fact, he was precisely the right size for that overcoat that you've squeezed yourself into. God damn, that's... That's a really good way of putting it. Your true identity remains shrouded in mystery, Mr. Egbert Benedict. But the final conclusion here is crystal clear. The reason you came into this pawnbrokery today... Snap. ...was to retrieve an article left behind by the late Magnus McGilded. How was that? I don't know how that sounded. It probably sounded inappropriate. Conclusion. To acquire an item deposited by Mr. McGilded. Solved. Deduction complete. Elementary.